apocalypse, Mr. Mannheim.
Who are you?
Your new lord and master. You may call me Darkseid.
Grab your Reddit conspiracy threads and make sure to ask your husband for the right choice. It's Election Day Eve, and we're Darkseid's couch. I'm Shée.
This is James.
This is Mike.
Why are you upset about all this suppression, this voter suppression, and this female erasure?
How dare I?
Yeah, how dare you? You're not like this nice lady on the cover of this book putting in her vote card.
You know, in my real life, really the only people I know who are voting are the females in my life.
Women vote disproportionately higher than men. Well, they haven't been able to do it that long.
I think
they're
maybe,
enjoying it.
including you, James, I only know 2 people who are voting.
It's a little less crucial because there are only 7 states that matter anymore. But God,
But your vote is vital, though.
yeah, the title of this book is mainly aimed at me, not so much you guys. All right. We're gonna actually look at this book. This is dropping the day before the election, so
So you only have one day. If you miss it, well, it's pointless.
do not. Well, I mean, you probably had early voting in your state for the past few weeks. But yeah, we are recording this 2 weeks in advance, so I'm sure things have become a lot different in that time. Maybe things have become a little more apparent one way or the other. So don't hold it against us that we didn't record this on November 3rd or something. Like, dude, deal with it. Okay?
Wow, deal with it.
You got to deal with it. You got to deal with it.
We're just sticking with our trend of having everything change after we record an episode.
Yeah. You know, there hasn't been anything crazy lately.
What if, like, either or becomes president and nothing changes dramatically?
Did you say Eeyore?
If Eeyore becomes president, yes.
Either or.
No.
Oh.
Well, I mean, you're not going to see a dramatic shift for you and me, but, you know, there's small incremental changes.
You know what drives me crazy about the Harris and Trump is neither of them can answer a question.
They are bad about it. They are bad about answering the questions. Sure,
like,
for sure.
They will just turn that question around and ask it back, or it's ridiculous.
It is pretty bad. It is pretty disgraceful. And granted, like, you can't find, like, Harris released a fucking 80-page document with all of her stuff in there. Not that I necessarily agree with all of it. But yeah, in the actual interviews, they just do not want to tell you any specifics at all.
Yeah, because I guess if they say out loud what their policies are, they're going to lose people in their base. Because,
you're going to alienate somebody.
Yeah. Because, like, people aren't divided in that way in real life. They have their own personal ideas of how things should be, and you're going to piss off somebody with something.
Yep. Well, luckily we have 7 states to decide on everything for us.
So they just got to bullshit us, right, until they get in, and they're like, all right, this is what we act.
The way I look at it with the interviews and the very, very public-facing things, that's for those undecided voters or swing voters or whatever. And if you actually care, you just kind of tune that out and you go read what's on their websites, or you go read the articles from AP or whatever, and you try to piece it together from there. It sucks. It should be that you just turn on the interview like they do in this book, where they just turn on the TV or the radio and they get their information. But
it might not be real.
That you can get your information over the radio or television.
No, I mean, what they're telling you is like it might not be real.
It might not.
I mean,
it might not be.
This was also when Edward R. Murrow was going on, and he was the trustworthy source.
One of the best Murrows.
And this is I mean, honestly, in my opinion, the 24-hour news channel destroyed America.
What would you call that, though? What was it called in 1984? Their TV news show. What was that called?
Well, there's Meet the Press, which has been going since, good Lord, how many years has that been going
No, I
on?
mean in the book in 1984.
Oh, I don't remember. The actual book, 1984.
Yeah,
Yes.
what was the name of the Ministry of Truth? What the fuck was it called?
Yeah, I can't. I read that book
But
once
it's like
when I was
that,
19,
where
like everyone
like,
did.
They're just spouting propaganda at you 24/7.
Yeah, but the difference is they were always spouting propaganda, but the difference is now you have so many other sources that you can use to vet. This is our first. This is 273 episodes. And it certainly feels like 293. And it's the first time that we've done a book that starts with the letter Y.
Oh, hey.
And we've completed the alphabet. We've done them all now.
Now you need an applause.
Now we know our ABCs.
Yeah, this is Your Vote is Vital.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Harvey publication, whatever that means for you. It came out in 1952. It is a one-shot, get out the vote election information guide. I think nearest I can figure the art is by Al Avison and Warren Kremer, but even that's kind of dubious, and I don't have any writing credits. This came out.
This was written by God, of course.
Well, yeah, as all elections are. They're written by God.
It was written by this based Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam in this book, man,
Who?
he has got his shit
Who?
together.
Who, James?
Oh, Jesus. Your
Good job, Mike.
mother's brother, Sam.
Oh, I see.
I think I said it correctly.
Nope, not
I
once.
still don't know what the hell you get. Ooh, this is going to be tough. I got
I
a
wasn't
minefield
listening
now.
for
You were
it.
pretty good about it for like a couple episodes, and then
to
the
this
last
day-
two just fell apart.
Listen, just own it.
I truly don't. I don't know what you're talking about.
James, it's so weird. I can't. Shée and I have yet to replicate it properly back to you because we
You
don't know how
say
you're
it
making the
like
sound.
you're French. You say it like it starts with an O.
Now she's got a problem with the French.
No,
first
I'm
one-
the only one here that is French.
Oh, I'm French too.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
We're the only ones here that are French.
For anyone that doesn't know, apparently I say the word uncle in a way that,
That
these
wasn't
two
bad.
assholes don't agree with.
That wasn't too bad.
That these two have decided is an incorrect way to say that word. I
Uncle.
maintain I say it perfectly.
How you say uncle is like an abomination.
Uncle.
It's an abomination against
Uncle?
God.
Listen, just own it so that they can't make fun of it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I swear I've listened to this podcast. I'm not much of a fan, but I have listened a couple times. I don't know what you're talking about. I say uncle perfectly.
Ooh,
Perfectly.
ooh, that just went right through me. That last uncle.
Listen, this book came out in the election
Should
between.
probably tell the police about that, Mike.
All right. This was the Eisenhower-Nixon versus Stevenson-Sparkman election. I don't know how that went.
Oh, I remember President Sparkman. Great times in America.
He was the vice president
Oh,
nominee,
the
but yeah.
Sparkman era.
It was the Adlai Stevenson.
Dude, how the
and,
fuck you not vote for Sparkman?
Well, again, he's the vice president nominee.
Oh.
How do you
nominee.
not? No, he
Wait.
should have ran for president.
Yeah, probably
Okay, so
should've.
who was actually running for president?
It was Eisenhower and Adlai Stevenson.
He should have
Okay.
had like the Tesla coil hands, you know, those guys would have to fire lightning bolts. You know, Sparkman could have that and be running for president. Dude, he would win.
Well,
If
you
he
know
ran
why-
now, he would win. He
You
would
know
beat
why he didn't
Trump and
he
Harris.
didn't do that? Because the MCU wasn't around yet
Yeah, I'm just
to make
saying.
that cool.
Sparkman.
Should have had the MCU.
Dude, President Sparkman, so cool.
It does though confirm what I said. We were talking about Joe Biden's hair plugs last time, and we talked about whether or not we would ever elect a bald man. And I think this kind of backs up the theory that no, we would not. While Dwight Eisenhower was bald, he was also his opponent. Adlai Stevenson was also bald. So I think that's the only way.
That's like how we are now. We just have two bald people running for president.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure that that's entirely accurate, but okay.
I mean, they're not like bald, but like metaphorically, they are. They're duds.
Yeah, they are kind of duds. They are kind of duds. I mean, I'll say I think of one as a little bit more of a dud than the other, but
I think who was it? Eisenhower that gave the speech about the military-industrial complex, or was that Truman? Who was that? that was
I don't know.
Eisenhower.
I mean, Eisenhower was a veteran. If
That
maybe
came
Truman was as
true.
well, I'm not sure.
You ever heard that speech? That came true. Fucking
So hard.
crazy hard. Like,
That's a deep
dang,
fake.
dude.
Deep fake that never happened. Never happened.
Good.
Stevenson is an Illinois boy, though.
No,
Yes, he is.
hey. He's no Sparkman.
He's no Sparkman. R.I.P. Sparkman.
Mm-hmm.
On the cover of this thing, we've got a woman with just the tiniest waistline.
Mm-hmm. Back then, when women had tiny waistlines.
Yep, where the waistlines were tiny, but they would still cinch into that corset to make it even tinier.
Mm-hmm. And all the men notice. They notice to her how uncomfortable she is.
And they did nothing about it because it was the 50s, and that's what we did.
Otherwise
They're all
known as
busy
also
trying to
now.
make sure that she voted for who they voted for.
Yeah, they're taking that card out of the
Hey,
box
she
for
could
sure.
be an OnlyFans person, and she brought her fans with her to vote the way she wanted.
You know what? The power dynamic has shifted in that respect.
In what year is this?
And they whatever version of OnlyFans they had in the 50s.
Which was just standing on the street corner, taking off your clothes.
You don't know. She could have had an OnlyFans radio show, and then she mails them pictures.
That does sound pretty hot, actually. That sounds like a good scheme. We should bring
Right?
that back.
Right?
The men are going to wear fedoras, and the ladies are going to be on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And she is on the cover of this book, Voting. And she's putting her card marked vote in a box that says America's future. And there's a bunch of men surrounding her, and they're all hilarious to me.
Mm-hmm. They're all, the America they wanted to portray.
Yeah, there's a soldier.
Mm-hmm.
There's just sort of, I guess, maybe a farmer. And then there's another farmer, a hayseed farmer. There's your more reputable farmer and your more hayseed farmer who's going to set himself on fire one of these days.
I think the reputable farmer, quote unquote, is a tradesman.
Do you think is it legal to live stream while you're voting? Can you do that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure people probably have. There's no way people haven't done it.
Right. How about this? Next year, if we're still doing the show and people are still interested in stuff, they could donate to me live streaming voting for the first time in years, and I'll take some acid.
Well, I don't know. If
How
you can
about
pull
we
that
Google first and see if this is legal?
How about that? What should we raise money for?
Yeah, we probably should put this together. Well, technically, they could do this year. Like,
how about voting rights activism? How about we'll raise money for voting rights? Is that a charity?
Made a voting site that allows users to vote directly from chat.
Nah.
Let's not do that. Video. Okay. Video recording in or near polling places. Now, this is from Georgetown Law. Do police officers need to turn off their body cameras when responding to incidents arising at or near polling places? No, they do not. Can private citizens record incidents of voter intimidation or harassment? It depends.
This is all about the cops.
I could do. Yeah. Ooh, so I'll have to have a hidden camera.
By the way, hey, here's something I wanted to ask, because I, as a terminally online person, maybe I don't know what the actual pulse is. But I was reading some stuff on Reddit, and it was brought to my attention that maybe the average person does not know about the false elector scheme. Like, they know about January 6th as a whole, but they do not know about the false elector scheme. Is that true? Do people not know about that?
Oh, well, explain it.
Well, when Trump sent a bunch of supporters of his to various swing states claiming to be the electors that were there to cast the ballots, the actual electoral ballots, but they had no jurisdiction. They had no authority. They were just people that Trump had designated to go there and vote for him.
But he was convicted of this or arrested?
So we don't know about this. Is not this is a very real thing.
This is illegal in Illinois.
Well, this is illegal in general. You're taking random people and saying, "Oh, those officially elected electors who are casting the actual."
I wasn't listening to your guys' bullshit. I was saying Mike can't record this. It is illegal in Illinois.
Okay, you can't do it. Good to know. Good to know on that.
Okay.
Good to know on that. So don't do that.
Well,
don't do that.
You can't take a picture either.
Well, but the point is, yeah, Trump sent people to swing states posing as electors to cast fake ballots that would have changed the results of the election in his favor. People just don't know this?
I don't know this.
There are literal videos. There are videos of groups of Trump supporters going to the offices saying, yeah, we're the electors. We're the alternate electors. We're here to cast the electoral votes. And people saying, dude, we don't know what you're talking about. We have our legally designated electors. We've never heard of any of you people. Please leave the premises.
That's pretty hilarious.
It is and again, this goes back to what I'm saying about
Makes
people
me wanna vote for Trump.
But there's a lot of people who kept that from happening.
You know, this makes me think, because World War III is about to happen, right? Which of the candidates do you want to be president during World War III?
I mean, I don't feel great about either of these candidates as the president of World War III. So I'm hoping we can skirt it for a few more years until Pritzker gets in there.
All right, so let's just assume that, so like surviving whatever World War III intact, right, however that is, surviving that is like slim to nil. Civilization will not still be around. So what other priorities do we have to have in a president while World War III is happening?
If you're a one-issue voter, I guess you can vote on the stance on World War III leadership, but like there are other factors.
I know, but but that's the biggest one though. End of mankind.
If it happens.
I think honestly, one of them would absolutely leave everything and everyone in the dust and go take care of their own ass and not care about the fact that they're president.
Well, I mean, we saw
Ayn Rand book.
Yeah.
We saw old Cancun Ted Cruz running away when it was cold in Texas, leaving trying to leave the state. They caught him at the airport.
Yeah.
So
Did he have that crazy mullet at the time? Maybe that's how they spotted him.
Yeah.
God, he's such a slimy looking dude.
Dude,
Well,
well,
it's potentially losing him his state. So
He's on the bubble.
He should have
may
played
or
the
may not.
penguin in that movie instead of that guy.
No, that's too much. That's too real. It's too real.
And
I
I
can't
haven't
look at
played the
Ted
Penguin.
Cruz for 2 hours.
I haven't seen that show yet. Is it good?
Ted Cruz always looks like he's melting. Penguin is a fantastic show. It's just, it feels like we've been here.
Would it be better if I watched it at 1.25 speed?
Everything is.
All
I have
right,
short.
then, great.
I have my TikTokified brain needs everything to happen a lot faster.
I speed up every show. If it's not the best show in the world, I'm just speeding that bitch up. YouTube videos, they're all like 1.5. I'm going crazy.
Dude, that's bad for your brain, man. You need.
I know.
And I watch everything at 0.75 speed.
I'll just slow down a little bit.
I slow it down. I stretch myself out.
Yeah, slow and steady wins that race.
Yep. Except it doesn't, and it's not.
It's the fastest and the dumbest who make it to the end.
I do want to comment that the hayseed farmer here on the cover, in a couple of years, he's actually going to trick the devil out of $2,000. Good for him, that guy.
Him and his idiot daughter.
Him and his idiot daughter, who's going to be able to vote next time.
Maybe that's her voting right there. He's all proud to see his daughter voting
wow.
with the freedom they've earned after they bilked $2,000 out of the devil.
got
Wasn't he like a DJ
$2,000.
too? We created a rich backstory for the $2,000 devil.
I don't know that the devil was also a DJ.
I
but
think we made
sure.
him like a DJ, like a party DJ.
Wow, like a raver, and he's got the
Yeah.
one earbud on. Nice.
Like, that's how he made his
created a
money.
lot of backstories.
Like, that's probably how he had the $2,000 that he brought with him.
I mean, you can make a good living if you're a great DJ. All right, so let's get into this promotional book. We open up with this man who looks like every man from the 50s. He's wearing a brown suit and a brown fedora. And he is throwing his voter registration card in the trash and
based.
saying, why should I bother? He is Mike, pretty much.
Where it belongs, right in the trash.
And then we see he's yelled at. And by yelled at, I mean, like, the font is twice as big. So this is Uncle Sam screaming at this guy. Telling away, hey, dipshit, don't throw away your vote. It's vital.
There are some distinct typeface choices throughout the comic.
Oh, with the fonts and such?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I was so enamored with the story that I couldn't even focus on that. So Uncle Sam pulls that voter registration card out of the trash.
Maybe just call him Sam.
Yeah, mom's brother Sam. Yeah. Do people know Uncle Sam?
Yeah,
Uncle
I know
Sam?
Uncle Sam.
Yeah. Dresses in the red, white, and blue.
He was the president, I imagine, or is currently the president.
Yeah, he was the first president.
Yeah, why aren't we just electing this guy? He clearly is up for it.
I would give this guy is impartial. He's unbiased. He is firm but fair, and he will shove it in your face. And also, we know he's got the time to be president because he clearly doesn't have any friends.
Do you think? Yeah, right. He's just always like nagging at folks.
No one could stand this guy.
Do you think if we had a guy who looks like this, Uncle Sam, right? We dress him up in the Uncle Sam outfit and we run him for president. I mean, Trump was a TV game show host. Look how far he got.
I think Trump's worn some kind of red, white, and bluey kind of stuff before, so it clearly goes over well.
I know, right? We could just have a guy, call him Sam whatever, Richardson,
Yeah.
right? And he's
Well,
someone's uncle.
Sam Richardson is one of my favorite
He's
comedians.
a person.
Yeah, he's a real guy.
Or he's like Bill Sparkman. You know,
Yeah, Bill Sparkman. Yep.
Oh, I guess he still has to be Sam.
Bill.
Sam Sparkman. That's a pretty powerful name, Sam Sparkman.
Well, he corrects them though and says it's pronounced Sparkman.
I just noticed that because of the way that inking was and the time and everything, his eyes, they don't have the white really to them. And so he looks like he has super bloodshot. He looks hella
He's exhausted.
stoned.
He
Yeah.
represents the national debt.
And sometimes his vest, his coat, his waistcoat is black, like a dark black, like he's Dark Sam. It's weird. The color
dark
is strange.
black?
He's
see.
he's the evil twin that killed good Uncle Sam, and he's been running the country ever since.
He's Dark Brandon. Yeah.
Maybe we should just call him Dark Brandon for the rest of the comic.
It doesn't matter. It'll save me getting in trouble more for my pronunciation.
Yeah, right. See
Yeah,
a
it
speech
will.
therapist, God.
It's not that bad.
I'm the only one who actually made money talking on a microphone before. So, that's the thing I did for 3 years. So
hold on now. I go like check 1, check 2. Hey, hey, hey. I do that all the time.
All the good ones. All the great ones. No, I mean, I worked in radio for a few years. Yeah.
My degree is in radio.
Yeah,
I can see why you support the system, James, because you're so elitist.
Yeah, I am better. A little bit better.
I could see you at a Kamala fundraiser.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not that much better, but I'm a little better. I'm better enough that people should be looking up to me.
Diddy quietly whispering threats to you in your ear as he gives you a bro hug.
I'm a threat to Diddy in this scenario?
No, he's threatening you. Just be like, hey man, I got this on you. Just don't you forget.
Oh, okay. Is he anti-Kamala?
I don't know.
I don't know if he's going to get to vote.
Yeah, he's going to get the vote. Come on.
He'll be okay.
He's going to be in jail.
Hashtag let Diddy vote.
Let him vote. Let him vote. Let him on the vote boat.
But that brings up an interesting question. Should felons in prison be allowed to vote?
I think it depends on if it's a federal or a state crime.
I think I did say felon.
Yeah, so I think...
was there any stabbing involved?
In like Norway, everyone gets to vote, like no matter what you do.
Okay.
Yeah. I know in America it isn't cut and dry because if you're on probation in some states, you can still vote.
Can I give my vote to a felon? Can I just like... Well, I guess they could tell me
there's
who they want to
swapsies.
vote for. I can pick a felon in prison in Illinois, and I can call him and be like, hey, you're not allowed to vote. I'll vote for you. Just tell me what you want, and I'll go do it.
Your vote is felonious.
And I'll tell them that your vote is vital.
There's nothing more Illinois than selling your vote. Do it.
I'm not selling it. I'm doing it because he can't. Or she.
Blagojevich-ing the whole thing. Well, I think if you make it legal for the felons to vote, then you're going to have politicians trying to court the felon vote.
Yes, exactly.
So that's just something, like maybe that's something you want. I don't know, but it's something to be aware of.
Well, they are courting the mass murder, genocide, corporate profit vote.
Well, they just like their money. They just like that money so much. See, look at this. We're seeing like Uncle Sam, like his striped pants and his vest, they turn black. They turn like black and white.
Maybe his true nature is shown depending on how you look at him, like what angle you're at, like his illusion, his facade, like you could see through it.
He's looking more like Venom, like his symbiote is taking over.
Mm-hmm. He's mad at this guy. The more his jacket gets darker as he yells at this guy.
He is so. Yeah, the more he yells at the guy, the more patriotism he loses, and it makes his outfit less red, white, and blue.
And I realize this is a printing error, but it looks like the red in his hat is starting to emanate harder as the anger here he becomes like little torches on the top of his head. Yeah.
That's the color leaving his outfit.
That's the blood rising, the representation of the millions of blood from the corpses that America has plowed through to become what it is today.
It's interesting that, the red on our flag, it's about that blood.
Yeah, it's about the delicious, precious blood.
And those barber poles.
Right.
I don't want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because they were doctors.
Hell yeah. America's for doctors.
Is that true, or is that a rumor?
That they were doctors?
Is that really true, or is that a rumor that they were doctors?
Is it weird that...
No, it's true.
You have to pay for medical school. Don't you think it would behoove the country to have that be something that's free so that most people can try to become doctors since we need them so desperately?
Well, over the last few years, we've forgiven a few $1 billion worth of student loan debt, so it's a step in the right direction again.
Mm-hmm. I'm saying should the institution of, say, like colleges for things we need for society to function, like should that just be something that we pay for?
Any valuable function in society should, if not be free, it should at least be easily attainable for the average American. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Someone in the listening is like, that's communism. You're talking about communism. Like, yep, I guess so.
Yeah, well, and this was 1952. You couldn't even suggest that, as we're going to see momentarily. Mm-hmm. So Uncle Sam starts schooling this guy. He starts explaining how this works. And since this guy is a fucking moron, he doesn't seem to know how many people there are in the country, right?
Well, it changes every year.
Yeah, Okay, fine. Yeah, maybe he thought there were only about 50
Got
million
your
people in the
ass.
country. Yeah.
Why is he a fucking moron? Because he doesn't know something. Like he's just ignorant of that one statistic. He's a fucking
It's
moron.
not just that one. Time after time after time, Sam has to explain to him.
Yeah, but we're not there yet. This is his first mistake, and you're already on his ass.
In my first reading at this point, no, I completely love this guy. I was completely
Now-
on this guy's side.
Now he is drawn like he is in fact a fucking moron. Like you are right to give
good artwork.
Looking at the numbers like it's the first time he's ever seen numbers.
Yeah. Sam materializes the numbers out of nowhere, and he brings up the numbers from the 1948 election, and he
What
says,
if Uncle Sam is a Miss Yekspetlik and he's driving this guy insane?
"Oh, he's from the fifth dimension."
Yeah, he's like a magical imp from the fifth dimension, and he's fucking with this guy.
I mean, it makes sense that he's able to materialize data and statistics just in the air.
And he's just
That
in
makes some kind of
Vietnam
sense.
watching the carnage, just looking like Uncle Sam.
It doesn't mean anything to him. He's above all of that. So these stats come up in the sky for them to look at, and it says the winner got 24 million votes, the runner-up got 22 million, others were 3 million, and the guy says, nothing wrong with that, majority rule.
That's also mob rule. That's also bad.
Same thing. And Sam says, oh yeah? What about we put you lazy dipshits in the equation? That's another 45 million lazy voters who didn't vote. He calls them lazy, by the way, several times. This isn't us editorializing. He calls this dude lazy. And we see that, there were 94 eligible voters, 94 million eligible voters.
Nope,
and the winner,
94.
94
So
eligible. Now, that's a vital vote.
So instead, when he calls him lazy, he snaps back and says, "Why don't you just make voting day a national holiday so we don't have to work?" And then Uncle Sam's like, "Ooh."
In fairness, they do.
Tucking the corporate profit like bribery that's like piling out of his back pocket, and he just shoves it back in a little harder.
In fairness, every employer has to let you go vote on election day. And again, mail-in voting and early voting is available in most states. So there really is, I mean, you can vote. Like
I'm going to
nobody's.
perform an experiment. I have a gig on election day, and I'm going to show up for work. And as soon as I get there and be like, "Hey, you legally have to let me."
I don't
go
know
vote.
because you're a contractor. I don't know if it's the same situation.
Yeah,
but
no
if
rights.
you,
Contractors do not have rights.
yeah, the right to be based is shit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because we're not like corporate slaves, but we're also the people who owe us money can just be like, "We're not paying you. Sue me."
I mean, I've never not been paid, but
I've never not been paid too, but they could. And I've heard tales of people not being paid.
Oh, I've
So-
heard tales of you guys not getting paid.
so. No, it's the stories of us not getting laid. Actually,
No,
I've
that's
heard
the
that.
majority of my life.
That's my 20s. Yeah,
99. That's you want to why? Because of lazy voters.
lazy voters who didn't vote to have sex with us.
That's right, lazy. They don't even show up to vote.
Yeah, in the polling place in my bedroom.
I can't win an election of cum.
The polls are rising, people. So, we see here that of the 94 million eligible voters, the winner was chosen by only 24 million. And so really, the lazy voters, had they just gotten their asses off the couch,
He's like,
stopped
"Hey,
listening
wait."
to their...
And the guy's like, "Oh, hey, wait a minute. What year is this? Is everyone even allowed to vote?" And Uncle Sam's like, all right, calm down.
He tugs his collar. Yeah,
down.
a little bit. He does allude to education laws and some of the Jim Crow shit later on, yeah. So this guy starts to wake up a little bit. He scratches his forehead. He goes, I kind of feel like a piece of shit now.
What else was this guy doing, though? But he didn't have the internet back then to just mindlessly waste time. Like, what was he doing all day?
I mean, cheating on their wives with secret families.
Were they just drinking
their
at,
kids,
drinking at bars?
drinking?
That-
A lot of drinking, yeah.
going to ball games and gambling on that ball game?
Yeah,
Going
you
to
can make
key
a lot of money.
parties with their neighbors.
Yeah, were people just degenerates back
The
then?
50s, I think no, I don't think people were having key parties yet. They were thinking about it.
Yeah, they were
The
thinking
seeds
about
were being
it.
planted.
Right. It said those feelings just developed into domestic abuse.
Yep, and that farmer grabbed his own daughter's ass.
Dude, I won't repeat it, but someone just gave me a factoid about Sigmund Freud and how the term hysteria came about.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's too fucked up, but
Okay.
Yeah, but if that term hysteria isn't even real, it's not a real thing. It's just something he made up to cover up a horrific crime that people back in the day used to do to each other.
All right, well, go look up hysteria, I suppose, on your own time in a private browser. So Sam keeps lecturing, and he says, it's not the winner's fault that he was fairly elected. It's not his fault that 45 million Americans don't care about taxes, foreign policy, or the price of food.
My taxes will go up no matter who gets elected president.
Most likely.
Because like we're reaching a point where like we don't collect enough in taxes to pay off the interest that the national debt produces.
Well, I tell you, when Bill Clinton left office, and for all the problems I have with Bill Clinton, he left office with a budget surplus.
Maybe we need dirty dogs to be president.
We need a little dirty dog. Gotta get you a little dick with a little bit.
Like Kennedy. Kennedy was a dirty dog.
Everybody since then has they don't even talk about eliminating the national debt anymore. Like we had it.
Do you think Obama got laid?
I think he was probably a
Trump gets
faithful
laid
man.
for sure. For sure, Trump fucks. For sure.
No, I don't know if he could even physically accomplish that.
Oh, that's true. That would be quite the feat. What I bet he's paying people to do it in front of him.
He could. He could. Like, if he wants to facilitate something, if he wants to pay for something, yeah, he'll get it done. Are women actually wanting to have sex with him? Not so sure about that. Didn't he cheat on his wife while she was in the hospital, though?
Is he on the Epstein flight list? Did they ever release that? They said they were gonna, and they never did. Did they?
I couldn't say. I try not to be too aware of the details of the Epstein flight list.
Well, what if those people who flew on that flight are in your government?
Well, I think I will hear about it from following the news rather than following the Epstein flight list alerts.
Everyone just follow Alex Jones, and maybe he'll tell us.
Yep, he'll guess. Yeah, well, that's what we've heard is the best source of information. Thank you, Hank Hill.
He is like broadcasting live on X like 10 hours a day, every single day.
Yeah, because he's going to be ruined. He needs to drum up some money.
Yeah, but he's never going to pay them. He's never going to make enough. It's like, what is it, like $100 billion?
Yeah, it was like $100 billion.
Yeah, like whole countries don't make that much money.
What a shitbag. All right. So then Sam goes on a whole thing about how if you don't vote, organized minorities, not that kind of minority, by the way, can grab control of our government.
But that's what he means.
I was honestly, because earlier I thought when he said they didn't care about taxes and everything because they were referencing the 48 election, I thought then this was a Republican comic book. So then the first time I read this, I read that as another insult.
a different, yeah. No, I will
then
say.
I realized I was wrong.
Sam is pretty impartial in this.
Yeah,
like
it's just civic duty stuff. It's got nothing to do. He's like, do
I
whatever
was
you
wrong.
want. You're free.
Yeah, you're free if you want to be a piece of shit and not vote.
But you have to. See, like, yeah, we're a democracy. They have to protect democracy, but democracy only exists in the states. Like, voting for the president because of electoral college, bro. What do they call it? A constitutional republic? Like, that's
representational republic, I believe.
Yeah, so we're not really voting.
It's not a direct election. Yeah. Nobody actually wants full-on democracy in that sense.
So
like,
I don't understand, why do they count the popular vote if we don't follow it? Like, why even count it at all?
Well, it's useful information to have, and every time that a Republican becomes president while losing the popular vote, it stirs everybody up to talk about reforming this again, but of course we never do anything.
Well, I can understand the state's point of view, the smaller states, where it's like, I don't want to be told what to do from someone from the coasts. You know, I understand. I understand. I can relate to that feeling. Like, if I was them, I would feel that way too. Sure.
It doesn't have to be one way or the other. There are a lot of hybrid systems. There are tons of different options that we could be talking about.
I think we need to focus all of our energies on creating the super AI and have that run the country.
I'd give it a shot.
Yeah.
I'd give it a good shot.
Like, human beings are so flawed. Like, this isn't working. Like, the planet is dying.
Yeah. And AI is not flawed unless you ask it to draw a picture of a hand.
Right.
Just can't.
I'd rather have a bad drawing of a hand, but then good government.
Yeah. That's my ballot.
I'm like, I don't need my president.
Do you want to vote for the candidate who can draw?
Right. Like, drawing like a child's turkey drawing will be beyond this.
Yeah, that's all I need.
AI, but it can create a resource-based economy.
Anyway, our dude here brings up to Uncle Sam. Well, what about what happens in what happens in Russia? That seems pretty good. They get 99% of the vote out there, and then Sam does a pretty good job of explaining what happens in Russia. He is incensed that this guy is even entertaining this as a legitimate possibility.
That's true though. Russia or the USSR was terrible for elections. Yeah.
Oh,
They tell you if you want to vote for the party, put your vote here. If you want to vote against the party, go over there. And then they walk you out there and they beat the shit out of you.
That seems like not real.
It was probably not this extreme, but like, yeah, a lot of these dictatorial nations, regardless of whether or not they're communists, they tend to have a lot of voter suppression. Because like Saddam Hussein always got like 99% of the vote.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I sorry, I should have been worse. I meant like literally them walking you out into an alley and beating the shit out of you.
No, this is just to scare kids into voting.
Yeah.
Well, and the Russian guy that they're beating up looks like he's on Miami Vice. Look at his blazer. He's got like
I thought
a
it was
white
a
blazer.
priest.
It's Don Johnson.
There are no Russian priests. Don Johnson, a young Don Johnson.
There weren't any Soviet priests. They didn't exist. They did eventually.
Uncle Sam is all legs.
He's got the high-waisted pants that some women wear nowadays, and I support it because it's a women's choice.
I think he's wearing striped pants because it hides his huge dick.
Does Uncle Sam have a big one?
Yeah, he's sure. Oh, dude.
Big meaty hog?
Get out of here.
Big
Show's
meaty American
over.
sausage?
Show's
Sure.
over.
All right.
Like, I'm not hearing this.
he's got the real giant-sized man thing.
Come on, bro. You know what they say? The bigger your hat.
Yeah? Is that what they say?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can go get a big hat any day. I didn't realize that was an option.
That was the best thing I ever done.
That's all I had to do was get a big hat all this time?
I've been wearing a comically large sombrero this entire time.
I've been buying all these pumps and these pills and these oils.
You just get
All you
a big ass hat.
Yeah.
Then it becomes inconvenient though because you got to keep the hat on while you're having sex.
Yeah,
And the bigger that hat, the harder it's going to be to keep that thing on in order
you
to
lose it for a second.
ride that motion.
Yeah, you got nothing if you lose that hat. So this guy finally sees the error of his ways. He's like, all right, fine. I'm going to go vote right now. And then Sam, this is a great move. Sam stops him and says, hey, hold on. If I know you, you don't even know the candidates. Very condescending, but also very correct.
And it turns out he didn't know any of them. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure the reader really, really relates to the guy.
So this is the point where I say he's a fucking idiot.
What if Uncle Sam is just an autistic homeless man who's just like riding this dude as hard as he can?
Well, if you've read the Vertigo 2-issue miniseries from the 90s, that's basically what it is.
Right,
Has nobody read that with the Alex Ross and what is his name?
I've seen the covers. I never.
Yeah,
read
it's a really good book. I had it as a kid. It's called US. It's a Vertigo 2-issue series with art by Alex Ross, written by Steve Darnell and Alex Ross. And yeah, it's basically the DC character Uncle Sam, but he's a homeless derelict man, and he kind of goes tripping through American history, confronting the horrors of the country.
I want a new Uncle Sam comic book, but I want it written by Frank Miller.
Yeah, he's at the top of his game right now.
I want him to draw it as well.
Man, his artwork is getting crazy.
I know. I want to.
He is getting bizarre with it.
Dude, good for him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. At least it's distinct. I give him points for just, you can see it. So anyway, this guy says to Uncle Sam, of course I know the candidates. They're written right on this card. And Uncle Sam says, you dumb piece of shit. I'm saying, do you know which one should get your vote?
He goes, yeah, I'm voting for the ones with white last names.
It is worth noting there are only white people in this book.
Right.
Like for all
but it is so like what 75% of the population though.
Something like that. Black population in America is about like 11-12%. So yeah,
there's got to be certain areas of the country that have a majority white population.
See, this is why it's hard for rappers in America because you have to court the white audience, and so you have to have this uncomfortable sort of relationship with white people in order to be famous.
I know what that's like.
Yeah. So yeah, even though I do admire a lot of what Sam says in this book, it is odd that there are no colored people in this book. So the guy says, yeah, I know these are the Republicans and these are the Democrats, and Sam is getting exasperated about this.
He starts hitting the back of his head a little bit first softly just to kind of like let him know, but now it's getting harder, and you can see him rubbing his head right here like, he boxed my ear. Yeah,
and he explains to him, listen, what are the issues? Do you know anything about the issues? Do you know about what their past records are? Do you know any of that? And this guy asks, is all of that important?
And then he hits him again, and Uncle Sam's just like, hey, I'm Uncle Sam. I solved my problems with violence first.
Yep, and he takes out an AR-15 and a bald eagle.
And then
throws
he's
an
like,
apple pie at
I'm
him.
real sorry for what I did. We are going to pass a bill so this never happens again.
And then it wasn't passed.
And then they applaud him for the thing that he did.
Sam, infinitely patient, then takes some time to explain why you need to know the issues that everyone stands for. Although at this point, I think he's kind of a lost cause and Sam should just leave.
He's like, man, maybe someone else's vote is a little more vital.
Yeah, this guy's vote is a little unvital at the moment.
This guy's so chill, though. He's got his baggy suit. He's leaning against a pole now, where he's just like, yeah, I'm going to listen to you jive, old man.
Yeah, he
I got
leans
nothing to do
against
all
the
day.
lamppost.
I don't even have a phone, and I don't like to read.
Dude, that is way too hip language for this guy. This guy is a middle-aged man of 23 years old.
Yep. He's already been working for 15 years.
Yep. And he's just getting started.
Yeah, but now he's interested in grift, so now that's why he's talking to Uncle Sam about politics.
Where'd you get that hat, by the way, Sam?
He's like, is my hat not big enough? He goes, if you want a bigger dick, you better get a bigger hat. He goes, that's the best thing you've said to me all day.
Yeah, now I finally understand. So Sam says, all right, you have a radio or a TV set, right? And the guy goes, sure, I love watching TV.
This advice is like, all right, well, you got to watch TV. You got to make time for TV, and you got to make time to read the newspaper, and you got to make time to talk to your friends about all this stuff so you can vote. And you have to do it all year, every year.
Don't forget that you need to go to the things as well.
I mean, in fairness,
Yeah, how are you supposed to have a job?
I don't know.
Yeah, how are you supposed to put in your mandatory 14 hours of work a day?
They're like, well, we gave you John Oliver, didn't we? Just do whatever
He boils it
says.
down. He does some
I
great
love
work.
his attitude. Kamala sucks, but if we don't vote for her, the other guy's going to win, and we're going to have hell on earth. It's
Yeah,
like, great.
there's-
Thanks, John Oliver.
I mean, he's just telling it like it is.
No, I think she's just as bad as he is.
I would not say just as bad. I would say I've got a multitude of issues with her.
I think
but
she's evil in a different way. Like, they're both evil, but she has a different kind of evil going on.
I wouldn't go. I'm not going to evil.
Yeah, I'm going to say evil. I'm going to go ahead on the record and say she's
may be
evil.
I don't think she's an
Trump's evil
person.
too. He's just a more fun. I guess he's the fun devil, and she's like the
But
Catholic
it's not
Church devil.
But it's not fun anymore. It stopped being fun.
When you get picked the president for World War III, you got to have something.
Here's what I'll say though. I very much want Trump to lose this election. However,
What if he
I want him to
explodes in
lose.
pops?
I want him to lose, but then I want him to come back in 4 more years because then I know he's no longer a threat. He's just goofy. Then he's an 82-year-old man.
I thought for sure he was going to lose when he lost, that he was going to start his podcast network and start podcasting, and he never did.
He probably saw there wasn't enough money in that grift.
All right, well, we got to move along. We got to move the show along.
I honestly think that they probably tried something like that and they realized that they couldn't hold his attention span long enough to do a podcast.
He does those speeches. All the podcast is he just goes from place to place and does his rallies and records them.
In fairness, this is, again, we're recording this a little in advance, but Trump just canceled a whole bunch of appearances supposedly due to exhaustion. Like,
I'm sure BlackRock just told him, you're out. He's like, okay.
So Uncle Sam gives this guy a bunch of guidance, and I appreciate it, but there's no way in hell I'm talking to family or friends about their political opinions.
Yeah, we don't talk to each other in the
No.
future.
I'm not. People out there getting their news from memes and shit your coworkers told you or heard. I'm not getting into this with you guys.
Maybe that brain link is the best thing for us because we're pretty much already there.
The
Except
Neuralink?
now the lack of the Neuralink is now making us unhappy.
You got to bring us all together.
Yeah, why not? Who cares?
So we see people reading papers and talking about what they saw in the paper, believing whatever they see in the latest paper.
Yep, that never changed. Now we don't have the paper.
The guy, he's pretending to understand this. We can see the consternation on his face.
And there's Uncle Sam showing this guy his huge dick to represent how much better it is to have a slightly bigger hat.
Yep. He puts his leg up on the bumper of a nearby car that he doesn't own. But he just
There's
feels
Uncle
he can do
Sam.
it.
If this guy doesn't pay the taxes on that vehicle, he will own it.
I'm gonna repo. Yeah, he has a repo business on the side. That's his side hustle.
Isn't that crazy? You don't own your home. You don't own it.
I mean, you can't really own anything, can you?
Nope.
There's no such thing as ownership. That's an arbitrary concept. It doesn't matter. That's fine. So he says, well, you don't think you have time to research politicians, but you got time to research what TV you're going to buy. Maybe you need to reprioritize your shit.
He's
right?
like, bro, I'm an American worker. I can't afford a TV or a car. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Well, I
and
guess
this is the spot where the font changes To the
Oh,
point
yeah,
of
yeah.
where it changed so much, I wonder, did we end up reading a copy of the comic book that wasn't legit?
Oh, no, no, no. This guy says, I get it, I get it. To make democracy work, we have to work for democracy. And it becomes big, bold-faced type.
He said, "You said it, friend." And then when Uncle Sam walks away, the guy takes his hat off and puts on a ski mask and robs the store.
Well, it's odd because now he's putting his hand on Sam's back.
And then Sam like swats his hand away. He's
Yeah,
like, "Don't you touch
ever,
me!"
You don't ever fucking
And they start
touch
having
me.
flashbacks of Vietnam.
I am America, buddy.
Vietnam hasn't happened yet.
He's thinking of like the police
but-
officers spraying the black people with hoses and the dogs. He's just envisioning all that.
Sam exists at all time and space at once, so he's experiencing Vietnam right now. Yeah. So he tells this guy, "Stop just reading the sports page, you flabby motherfucker. Why don't you pay attention to what's going on in your community?"
Now he would say, "Put down the Warhammer figurines."
Yeah, yeah. Stop painting all your Minecraft minis.
Yeah, dude. Oh god. I'm usually pretty
Whatever.
supportive about nerd culture, but like some of that stuff, I'm like,
No,
you guys got to
it-
go to work. Like, you got to go to work. You can't be doing this.
Some of them are. Some of them are. The ones that aren't, yeah, that's a problem. You can't just have your trophy room with all of your Ninja Turtles figures and not go to work.
you
But if you're
cannot
going
do
to
that.
work,
Yeah,
going
it's
to
your private
work.
property. Do whatever you want.
You're going
It's
to
your
work,
money.
you're paying your dues. If that's what you want to waste your money on, that's fine.
Let the market decide.
You need to have something to distract you, and you need a little bit of distraction. You just can't let it take over your life.
So Uncle Sam, after letting that robber get away, he finds this lady and he's just like, "Hey, why aren't you voting?" And she's like, "They don't let me because I was too dumb to register ahead of time." He's like, "Yeah, idiot. You should have registered ahead of time." And she's like, "I know, but I don't know how to do it." He goes, "What are you talking about, dude? We told you how to do it 1,000 times." And she's
Yeah,
like,
we sure
"Oh,
did.
shit."
No, Uncle Sam is not giving anyone any slack.
Yeah. No. Well, and he's right to do it. Like, it's not hard. Like,
Agreed.
nobody doesn't know.
You thought that the guy in the brown suit, no one was dumber, and then they give us this lady who's so defeated. Like, was she waiting for Uncle Sam to come pick her up from the voting booth? Like, why was she
Yeah.
just there?
Well, she's very upset because she mentions this is her first time that she's been old enough to vote, and Uncle Sam's ears perk up. He says, "Say, I've got
Like,
some special
oh."
late registration forms back in my
He's
van."
like, "Would you say you're old enough to say die in a war?"
You can walk, can't you?
Well,
Carry a gun.
not for long.
No. Yeah, so she's a dullard as well.
She is the daughter of the farmer who
That's what I was
built
gonna
the
say.
devil out of $2,000.
She just flunked out of college.
Yeah.
Her father's farm is going under, and now she can't vote. Terrible. It is notable that Sam only ever refers to people as men, like the political candidates or even the voters.
because it's sharper.
I noticed that too.
Well, even in this one, he's talking to her, and he says every citizen has to be registered before election time, or he can't vote. Even while
he
he's
can't
talking to
Well,
a
that
woman,
might-
he doesn't use she.
That honestly might have been default language rules at the time.
He and men, it's like dropping
Oh,
a
that's a good
bowling
point.
ball on a floor.
Look
Men.
at Shea being anti-feminist.
No, but I was.
Oh, that
But
was
what
a
I
good
did notice,
point.
what I did notice is that whenever he refers to the candidates, he does say he.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
No,
Well-
that you're right. That might just be a style guide thing.
Well, did you guys ever see that speech of who was it, Ford? And they asked, like, he's talking to these little kids, and they asked him, "Will there ever be a woman president?" There's like some little girl asking. He goes, "I think there will 100% be a woman president, and let me tell you how it's going to happen, because this is the only way it's going to happen. She is elected to be vice president, and the man dies."
Ooh, I mean, there's still time for that to be the case.
He's not. I mean, is he still calling the shots?
I don't know that he was ever really calling the shots.
Because he has to do that for the rest of the year, don't he?
Well, he's got another couple months.
Wait
yeah.
a minute, James. Did you just say
Yeah,
the
till
president
March.
doesn't actually call the shots?
This president, yeah, this 80-some-year-old president who doesn't seem to know what room he's in. Yeah, I'm a little skeptical that he is making all of his own calls.
All right, and because George Bush Jr. they made the same accusation that he was never calling any shots.
I don't know, but I'm not going to exonerate George Bush Jr. because he was a much younger man who was a governor and whose father was president. He has no excuse to just plead ignorance to what was going on around him.
They should have just let that poor boy own a baseball team.
Yes,
Right.
Let him own the fucking
Yeah.
baseball team. That's all he wanted.
Well, they wanted to put the face on their fucking war.
Come on, man. I could feel his unhappiness whenever George Bush had to talk to people whenever he was the president. You could feel just how he just does not belong there.
Absolutely, but I'm not going to. I hate the restoration of George W. Bush that's happened in recent years where we act like maybe he wasn't that bad of a guy.
No, I mean, of course you're playing along. You're like the citizens of Germany who didn't stop the Nazis pretty much, except you were in a much higher position. But he wasn't. He wasn't like, I want to bomb Iraq today. Like, no, that was a plan they had for a long time, and he just happened to be the guy that got in office to get it done.
But again, this is a grown-ass man who had been a governor and whose father was the president. He can't just pretend like, oh, I stumbled into this thing and I'm an innocent bystander here.
Well, he was in what, Skull and Bones? Like, he was groomed for this position.
He had every chance to push back against that kind of stuff, and he didn't.
All right, we're going on rants.
Yeah. Anyway, so he tells this woman, well, you're just kind of fucked. Like, there's really no way around this
Dude,
one.
That is exactly how he looks right there with his arms out. Or here it looks like
he's measuring a fish.
Or he's measuring, he lets the lady know the size of hat comparison. To how
That's
big
not the
his
size
dick
of a fish, Shée.
So America is
It's
this
the size
big.
of Trump's rally.
Yeah.
They're the
Isn't
biggest
that how he
rallies.
does his hands?
Yeah.
We're the biggest hats, if you know what I'm saying.
We're the biggest hats. Okay, now at this point, Uncle Sam barely has any color in his costume at all.
No, it just dripped away.
Almost all of his patriotism is left because he's got to deal with these dullards all day.
No, he's a walking LSD trip. He's just not even really there. The concept of holding his material form together is starting to become boring to him.
Yes, his corporeal form. He spends a good page and a half just chastising this lady.
Because notice the other people's colors aren't falling apart. It's just his.
It's
I
just
think
him.
this is supposed to represent some kind of otherworldly being.
I think he may be Venom.
Maybe he's just he's existing in two different dimensions, and it's coming off as some kind of hallucinatory effect in the real world.
Maybe he's an alien and the face keeps sliding around.
His face does look different in a lot of different. Here he's turning around talking to the audience, and he looks like Empire Strikes Back Yoda.
Yes. So apparently he knows he's in a comic book at this point.
Yeah, he's Deadpool. He's the original. This is the Deadpool origin story.
In fairness, Ambush Bug and She-Hulk both knew they were in comics long before Deadpool.
Uncle Sam is played by Ryan Reynolds, and the Dullard is played by Hugh Jackman.
So Uncle Sam just leaves this woman. He just leaves her. He tells her, "There's nothing you can be done. You're just gonna have to try again in 4 years."
She's like, I won't miss out next time. It's like, dang, dude, 4 years. Ouch.
In 4 years, she's gonna have 7 children. Her window's closing. So the first Dullard comes back, and Uncle Sam looks out at us with an attitude of just like, I'm not gonna. I can't do this today. I can't do this today with you.
Uncle Sam forgets who he was and yells out, "Stand your ground!" and shoots him because he thinks he's his arm is outstretched. He's got a weapon.
Well, concealed carry.
We don't know what state they're in.
Oh, and they're in the state of America, Shée. And Sam actually mentions, "Yep, I'll be here all day. Election day is the most important day for democracy, and I don't have friends. Nobody can put up with my shit."
Oh, I'll be America's friend.
Be Uncle Sam's friend.
Israel man or whatever comes up behind him, so it's rubbing his shoulders.
Oh no.
What the hell should Israel man be called? We have our America man is Uncle Sam. What do they call Israel man?
I don't know enough about other cultures. Come
Marvel
on now.
has a Israel lady. I don't know her name, but they have a Marvel superhero that's like Israel lady. I can't remember her name.
Saber?
I don't know.
Sabra?
Is it
Might be.
Sabra?
Well, it
She
looks
has
like
a,
she's going to be in the new Captain
look up
America
images.
movie.
Look up images.
Well,
that'll give us who we want.
In the movie, Shée, my understanding is that since they pussy out a lot on this Captain America movie, they have erased all reference to her being Israeli. That's my understanding of it.
Oh, there.
So she's just a
There
lady.
it is. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That
Sabra.
thing.
Is it
Yeah,
Sabra? Or is it,
I don't know,
it,
but
yeah.
I'm gonna call her Israel lady.
Yeah. Yep,
Captain
she's-
Israel. Why can't she be a captain like Captain America?
I mean, you're gonna have to talk to the Israelis about
What's
it.
the
I
Hebrew
guess.
word for captain? That's what she should be called.
Shouldn't Gal Gadot be Sabra?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that
I
make
think
logical
so.
sense?
I
Makes
think
logical
so.
sense.
It would be wrong. It would be a
It'd
crime.
be wrong not to. Yeah.
It would be a war crime if she
It'd be
didn't.
A horrible thing. It's a horrible thing. All right. So anyway, the original Dullard comes back, and he's like, "All right, You're gonna hate me for this, Sam, but I've got more problems, more questions. I still don't know exactly what I'm doing.
He's like, Uncle Sam, I got 13 kids.
Well, yeah, he's about 23 years old. Yeah, he's winding it down.
He's like, oh, I see you have a small family. Uncle Sam says this guy's like, well, if give us more kids so then they can go die in our wars.
Can't have a war without dead kids.
That was my thought behind why the government pretends to be so anti-abortion. I think that's why they're mad that there's not enough poor, destitute children to join the army.
I mean, I don't know if the government says they're anti-abortion.
Well, the Supreme Court. Like, why are these guys getting put in the Supreme Court and they just go after abortion rights? It's like, well, what is their ulterior motive for that?
Man, remember the Supreme Court was kind of like this reputable institution?
No,
almost,
it never
kinda
was. Never was.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have the internet, so now they can't hide nothing.
But I do think they were maybe not personally great men and women necessarily, but I think they at least intended to uphold the Constitution as they saw it, whereas now it's just a bunch of buddies of Trump.
Dude, it's so they get bribed so like openly. It's crazy.
By John Oliver. He was gonna give Clarence Thomas an RV. He didn't take him up on it.
That sucks.
So the original Dullard comes back and he says, I don't like any of the guys running for this one office. What am I gonna do?
And he goes, oh, be like Based Mike and just throw your vote away.
Throw
Fuck
your
'em.
vote away.
None of this matters anyway. The comet's coming.
Well, so this is the part where Sam is maybe being a little too abrasive because he's still kind of giving the guy shit for his past mistakes. He's saying, well, you should have got involved in the primary months ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, he's already eaten shit for being an idiot up to this point. Like, do you
He's
need
like,
to keep
bro,
rubbing it in?
he's like, bro, I work 12 hours a day. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
time
and he
to go
clearly doesn't know what a
out.
primary is.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Who does though, right? Because
It's a nebulous idea.
I mean, I had to learn the hard way that voting in the Democratic Party is meaningless.
Man, this Bernie Sanders thing really broke your heart.
They just decided we're gonna pick whoever we want. It's like, well, what the fuck? Why even have the fake election then? Why don't you just tell us this is who we're picking and you don't get to choose? That's all they should have said.
I mean, technically, it's not. I mean, the deck is stacked, but as you saw with Bernie Sanders, there is a certain amount of momentum there. Although, in fairness, I believe he was already kind of trailing behind Clinton even before the Wasserman Schultzes got involved in the whole thing.
I didn't know anyone who was supporting Hillary Clinton. Maybe one person. Everyone I knew was like down for Bernie. Even just the idea of a Bernie.
You're in a very heavily blue area with a lot of like-minded people that you're attracted to. You don't have a representative sample of the country.
Where I live now, yeah, but whenever I went home to see my folks, it's all Trump, like those
Sure.
Trump signs outside their home. So everyone back home, like even the hardcore Republicans, a lot of them were pretty down with Bernie.
I don't know. I mean, I don't see any data for that. I
People
don't
are just
know.
tired of corporations.
I mean,
fucking us over.
Yeah, I'm with Mike in that I think the DNC fucked us with Hillary and Bernie. But I'm not saying they learned their lesson or anything, but I think they saw what happened when they did that.
So now we don't get to vote at all.
Have now been tiptoeing and like they're like, okay, maybe we don't do that. Okay.
Now there'll be no voting for anyone.
Yep, nobody. Here she is, Kamala.
I mean, whatever. Given the circumstances, it was the logical, easiest, quickest decision.
I should probably look into her VP. He could be a super cool guy. I don't even know anything about him.
Well, I mean, you're kind of running out of time at this point.
Never enough time.
He's got some decent credibility. He's got a little bit of, maybe just a little sprinkle of stolen valor, maybe a little bit.
Oh, great. Good job, Democratic Party.
But he's also one of my pet causes has always been, or for many years now at least, has been food and getting people fed. And he did a lot of good work in Minnesota for getting kids fed at school. He basically pushed through a law that made it so that it didn't matter how much money your parents made, you still got a meal at school.
All right, so out of all the candidates even involved in this whole process, like why didn't the Democrats pick this guy?
Hey, maybe he should have got a chance. And if Harris does win, then he may be the next in line. I don't know. He didn't have the name appeal, I guess. I wouldn't be against it. I mean, dude, it's just the way.
He should just change his name to Sparkman.
Yeah. Well, he didn't read Your Vote is Vital.
Unfortunately. Anyway, so he says, hey, spend all your free time and quit your job and join a political party and nominate the person you like by creating a cabal within the political party you're choosing to join.
Follow your political party around like they're the Grateful Dead.
It's like become the very cancerous agent that you despise in the political process right now.
Well, in theory, if everybody did this, we'd have a lot less cancer.
Maybe it would just be a lot of like little gang wars inside the political parties where they just like, I guess that's kind of what they do.
Yeah, a little bit of sniping, a little bit of snip sniping.
They got factions and you're done. You're done, Joe. You can't be president anymore.
They're telling him you should have been canvassing. You should have been talking to your statesmen and aldermen.
How pissed do you think Joe Biden is? Do you think he's super mad or is he relieved?
I think he's probably, I don't know. It's probably a mix of a lot of things. I think he's a stubborn guy, so it probably stung pretty hard for him to get pushed out like this.
What if he uses his underworld connection to kill his enemies? Like he gets out of office and all of a sudden a bunch of people in the Democratic Party start popping off.
Well, they clearly made a big point of telling him, if you do the right thing and you step down, we will exalt you like a national hero. And they did. Like they made a big deal about celebrating Joe Biden. And his service over the years.
We're hearing his panel here. He looks like Joe Biden right here, Uncle Sam.
Yeah,
join a political party. Doesn't matter which one. Even the libertarians. Wink.
Not seriously. Although I will say, back before the libertarians just became, MAGA people in disguise, like libertarians ran the first female presidential candidate, which I think was even before suffrage. Mm-hmm. Like before women could even vote, they were running female. So there's some legit roots in that organization that have rotted, but
No, they're both rotten. They used to be called the Democratic Republicans.
The libertarians?
No, the Democrats and the Republicans. They used to be one party. They were the Democratic Republicans.
I don't remember how far back that would have been.
Oh, it was a while back.
Because the Democrats and Republicans kind of switched spots quite a while ago.
Yeah, I know, but their history within the United States is pretty deep.
What about the Whigs and the Federalists?
The Federalists.
All right.
Well, did you guys happen to look up who that third party was in the 48 presidential election that got the amount of votes there? That would have been, if I remember correctly, good old Strom Thurmond running as a Dixiecrat.
Oh, the Dixiecrats. Wow. When you don't even feel like hiding your racism. Yeah, that guy was a fucking monster. One of the greatest monsters of American history, Strom Thurmond.
Oh, yeah. He had a bunch of other race children, though.
Yeah, he was a hypocrite.
What if he's not a real guy?
Well, he's dead now.
He is of a bygone era where
could. What if he's just a made up character like Uncle Sam, and then we found out the actor who played Strom Thurmond actually had a black family?
Right.
I think that's way too much fucking effort for something that dumb.
What if but lots of stuff that's dumb involves a lot of effort that we do
this
anyway.
Show.
Fucking NFL.
I don't think
it's called Darkseid's Couch.
Yeah, I don't think the fucking government is Truman showing us, Mike.
What if they are though? What if they're wasting money on these little ones that don't matter? So it becomes so common that it's like a distraction. Like we notice this one, but we don't notice the one they really don't want us to see.
Why don't you express the same skepticism to the counter narrative as
I do as well?
Primary narrative.
All I'm saying is I don't know what's happening, and I don't think most people do.
Yeah. People have never known anything.
Yeah, everyone, everything we do every day is in good faith. Like we're just relying on the idea that what we believe or understand is probably correct enough for us to get to work and then come back to our lives.
I mean, it's pretty shocking that it works.
Because isn't that all we're doing is just hallucinating, right? Our brains are just receiving the information from our senses and then
telling the definition of hallucinating.
Well, I mean, the reality we see is not the reality that exists.
It sounds like you got to choose between the red pill and the blue pill, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, when you get multiple billions of people together and they're all perceiving things relatively the same,
right?
You kind of reach a consensus.
But it's like the cornucopia from the Fruit of the Loom, It's like I remember that. Like that definitely existed. Now they're telling us it didn't exist. Like who knows what's real?
Well, Uncle Sam, of course. Just listen to Uncle Sam.
Yeah, played by Strom Thurmond.
Sam does make a point of saying a smart citizen votes for the best candidates regardless of political party, which is hilarious. 2024 laughs at him.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Party lines. Then he needs to explain to him how actually physically voting works.
You know who shouldn't get a vote though? That sketchy guy coming out of the booth. Look at that guy. He just committed some voting crime.
Yeah, he looks like a Batman villain from the time.
I voted twice.
And even he's voting for Trump.
He's like,
He doesn't
"Hey, no,
even live in that state.
He voted for both candidates.
He canceled his own vote out. It's
canceled his
completely
own
useless. But he thought it was a great scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's like a Batman villain
1.
who just commits crimes just because they're criminals.
Yeah,
and that's a
just garbage
crime.
crimes.
Voting twice.
I mean, he voted twice, but it didn't really do anything. So I guess just leave.
He just wanted to commit a crime.
Some people just want to commit a crime.
Yep. That's
So
Johnny. That's Johnny commit a crime. He commits a crime every 5 minutes.
We let him do it. We let him do it because he always commits a second crime that negates the first one.
Yeah, and we let him do it because he's good for the mob. Because one of the crimes he does is murder.
But then he gives birth.
Yeah,
Which is a crime.
Which is a crime against nature.
So then we're told that there are 2 ways to cast your ballot. One is you put an X next to the name, but sometimes there's a voting machine with levers, and in my entire life I've never seen one.
Yeah, he's never seen a lever.
Well, I've seen a lever, but I've never seen a voting machine with a lever. Has that been a thing in the past couple decades?
What if this guy goes to the voting booth, right? And he's in the booth and he pulls the lever and the bottom drops out. And he just falls into a pit with a bunch of other unsuspecting voters. And Uncle Sam, or the guy claiming to be Uncle Sam, has been walking around town all day, gathering people who haven't voted, took them to this specific voting booth, and now they're all being dropped into a pit.
If you're a dullard, Uncle Sam rounds you up and puts you in the special booth, and that's what happens. That's how we thin out the ranks.
They're in the pit, and there's a guy down there who goes, "I don't think Uncle Sam's a real guy."
That guy's hat was a little ostentatious, if you ask me.
Just like piles of people moaning in agony of just like their own stupidity and the injury from the fall.
So at the end here, our dullard walks out of his booth. He says, "I'm glad I didn't throw away my vote." And he also gives you a hot tip. Write down all the names of the people you want to vote for.
You should vote as if it's your last time voting, because between now and the next election that you can vote in, you may be killed.
Yeah, the probability is statistically that much higher every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And, both candidates, both parties this election have implied or not outright stated that this would be the last election if their person doesn't win. Mm-hmm. So this is, I guess, the last one, period.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is for sure
it.
the last U.S. presidential election.
There will not be another election of any way, shape, or form in this country. This is the last one.
I will not be surprised.
Mm-hmm. This is it.
I like to hear the end of the book. It tells us to rate ourselves as a voter, but also our neighbors.
Nice. Judge your neighbors.
Test your friends. Test yourself.
There is a quiz at the end.
Oh, yeah, there is.
And some of the questions, did you vote in the last election?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No.
Do you intend to vote in the next election?
The only thing I would say yes in, if there's a question like, did you convince others not to vote? You're like, yep.
People may have just told you that to get you to leave them alone.
What would they tell me after the fact, though?
Oh, they told you after the fact that?
They're like, I didn't vote because I talked to you. And I'm like, yep. Have
you a friend who... I'm going to vote twice as hard now.
Hey, so you told me before, like, voting for president doesn't matter in Illinois for the most part, right? So what states does it matter? Maybe we can talk. We can talk to those people who listen and are in the state of the where their vote actually is vital.
Well, the Rust Belt,
the swing states,
the Rust Belt, which is Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. The Sun Belt down there in North Carolina, Nevada, and kind of Arizona, but not really.
What about California? California seems like that'd be a big one.
No, California is hard left. Gavin Newsom, hell yeah. And then North Carolina and Georgia. So if you live in any of those states, it actually does matter whether or not you vote. You actually might tip it one way or the other.
All right. Well, if you live in those states, go vote. If you don't bother. Yeah,
I mean, I don't know. It's a tough thing. It's a tough thing to balance because
the beaches will be a lot less busy. You can while everyone's voting.
Yeah, you got on a Tuesday in the
go
afternoon.
Go to Six Flags on voting day because
See,
the lines are going to be real small.
This is why there shouldn't be early voting or mail-in voting, because now you got more people that did it early, so they're free on Tuesday as well. But you want them all in the booth so that you can. Yeah, so you can.
What if
get
it's
down
just going to be super busy, but like at Six Flags, but it's going to be people who voted early and non-voters, and only those two.
That's just a normal day. It's just people that vote and people that don't.
Yes, half off if you didn't vote at Six Flags.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like an Elon Musk scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I will pay you your admission for Six Flags if you can show that you didn't vote.
I want Elon Musk to buy Six Flags now.
I bet you do.
He'll be the new dancing old man from the commercials.
So can you guys name our two senators and the representative from our district?
Nope.
Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth, and our representative where we are is Jan Schakowsky, something like that.
Jan Schakowsky, or
Yeah.
I did know who my alderman was, but he is now in jail.
Were you Ed Burke?
He was a daily, and now he's in jail.
You know, so up here on the north side of Chicago, we had Alderman Joe Moore until 2018, 2019, and Joe Moore was the first elected official in the country to set aside a certain amount of funds to be directly voted on by the constituency. It was about $1 million every year that it was a direct vote. What are you actually would go and vote for what we're going to use that allocation for within the community? It would be a lot of like murals and things like that. But nobody else in the country was doing that. It's crazy. You would think somebody would have done that sort of discretionary thing. It was not happening anywhere.
I think it's crazy that we still have our leaders, right? And we as the people don't demand the advancement of our society based on how we're still doing all this weird archaic shit, but we have all this advanced knowledge about our universe and how things work, and we're still doing the same old bullshit. None of it's ever going to make the world a better place, and we're just sinking down this pit of feudalism for the rest of our lives.
That sounds like that's the fault of the people more than the politicians.
Well, what if you were born into that system? Then it doesn't seem weird, and then they change it a little bit for the worst, and then they don't remember. And
but
then the next
we all
people
know
show
it's
up.
weird. Like, I mean, approval ratings for Congress are like 12%. It's ridiculous.
It
So
feels
we
like
all
there's
know.
it feels like there's like an immortal who's like controlling the world and slowly making things into a certain way for a
Alan
specific
Moore.
plan. So it just feels like it. It just feels like something sinister is happening. But that could just be general paranoia.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is a pharmaceutical problem.
No, but maybe you just don't have any psychic powers, James. Maybe you're
I
not
know,
tuned into the vibrational electromagnetism of the planet.
I don't know, Mike. I got my meds upped when I started thinking about that stuff. It helped.
No, maybe all that medication is doing is calcifying your pineal gland.
I don't think she needs it. I don't think any of us need it.
Yeah, that's a fucking no. I need it.
Shée, you have to stop brushing your teeth with fluoride because it's calcifying your pineal gland. Like you're not going to
Okay.
be able to release the proper amount of DMT into your bloodstream that allows you to perceive the higher dimensions.
Thank you, George C. Scott.
You need to stop browning your teeth with that coffee.
I don't drink coffee.
Oh, you can do
That
you could do the
bean
trick
juice.
where you drink your coffee and then take the napkin up to your teeth and wipe it off.
I don't drink coffee.
Like a
I do
dainty
that.
lady. I'm talking
do
to
that.
Mike.
I do that. Or if I drink coffee, I'll also have a glass of water with me to swish it around and use my tongue to clean off my teeth.
They ain't gonna do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I guess that's the end of that. I guess I passed the test. My vote is more vital now.
Yours is, yeah.
I could have passed.
Yeah, Shée, your vote is pretty vital, but you guys both
Thank
live in
you.
Illinois, so it's garbage.
Well, it's garbage for the presidential.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What about water reclamation manager?
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's it. That's finally in the bag. Thank God.
Mm-hmm. We did it, and it was funny. As funny as I thought it was going to be.
Great.
I love interdimensional Uncle Sam with his good buddy Lady Israel going around making sure people vote.
You know, another good Uncle Sam adventure is.
You said it.
Is it? Did I say it right or wrong?
Wrong.
Jesus. Fuck you guys.
I love that's what she's celebrating.
In the multiversity, There's an issue set on Earth 10, which is the Earth where Superman landed in Germany instead of Kansas, and Hitler wins World War II, and it's a global utopia, but with some very, very stark changes. And the Freedom Fighters consist of Human Bomb and a bunch of others, and they're led by Uncle Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really good story, a good standalone book that's part of the larger infrastructure of Multiversity. But yeah, that's another good adventure with our buddy Mom's brother Sam.
Mm-hmm.
So you can read those instead. That's the trilogy, the U.S. book with Alex Ross,
This
Grant Morrison Multiversity issue, and Your Vote is Vital.
Mm-hmm.
And then you know everything about Mom's brother Sam.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Played by Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah, I hope he gets into acting after this.
I hope Joe Biden just goes around dressed as Uncle Sam, claiming that they stole the presidency from him.
I'm hoping Joe Biden just continues to be active in
Dressed
ridiculous
as
ways.
Uncle Sam the entire time.
Yeah, please. Please.
Four
No need
score
to
and
stop
7
him.
years ago, that bitch Kamala Harris stole the presidency from me.
Let the boy have some fun. He's earned it.
I just need a bitter Joe. I want him to spend the rest of his days. I'd be bitter about it. If they forced me out as the president, dude, I would be so bitter.
That's Dark Brandon. That's the guy we're talking about.
Dude, the prophecy has been fulfilled.
Yeah, Dark Brandon. He's very upset about things.
Bro, he's like when Sting became the Crow in WCW. He was
Yeah.
all like Surfer Sting for so long, and now he comes back to beat up Trump wearing his NWO shirt with the baseball bat.
He's got his aviators on. He looks so cool in his aviators. An 82-year-old man wearing aviators.
Dude,
It's
he's got a
awesome.
he's got a
Badass.
T-shirt but it's got a word on it, and it's all like sharp metal letters, and it just says Jack.
Nice. Jack. It wouldn't say Joe?
No, it says Jack.
All right. We got to talk about next time.
Mm-hmm.
If there's going to be a next time.
I mean, technically, we broke the curse. Like we just did all the alphabet.
Well, we'll see if we even get around to making this episode. Maybe it'll never happen.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't dropped yet.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the wheel here. And we're finally going to go back to the regular wheel. We haven't had the regular wheel in a while because we've had Halloween stuff and we've had election stuff. And I was looking at it, and it's down to a lean 46 entries.
Not bad.
Look at that. Yeah, it puts some meat on those bones.
Oh man, Born Too Late just requested the comic version of the John Wayne Genghis Khan movie.
I have no idea what that means.
So John Wayne
Yeah.
made a biopic directed by Howard Hughes about the life of Genghis Khan.
Should I add this to the list
Well,
right now?
I haven't found it yet. So far I just seen
Okay.
like images of the cover, but I don't know where it exists.
If you have it, send it to us.
So I have to look around for it for a while.
If you have it, send us a copy, and you'll get nothing in return. Yeah, why is he requesting a book that we don't have access to?
They don't know. They don't know. We find
No.
some crazy shit.
The movie also gave a bunch of people cancer.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's true. Yeah, that's true. There's a documentary about it. It's insane.
Well, I
I think
apologize.
didn't Werner Herzog do the documentary?
I don't know.
Ooh, good question.
Well, I apologize, Born Too Late. You give us a wonderful spinning playlist that we're still using. We're going to spin a little spin-in music. We've got Brooklyn, Two Wheels. Very Boston.
Yeah, Brooklyn. Right. Oh my God, this sounds like fucking Boston.
Is it talking about a bike? Two wheels beneath me?
This song rips.
Yeah, that's just Boston. That's just Boston, but I don't understand why he says two wheels beneath me. That's all I want now.
What if they were the kind of like a minor league team where like whenever members of Boston like retire, they replace them with guys from Brooklyn?
Oh, okay. Yeah, they can kind of cover the northern states a little bit more.
It's probably about motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, motorcycle. That's my thinking. I was either thinking it's a car or it's a bicycle, like a little boy.
I thought maybe we should have played Two Wheel Nation, the song from last week.
Again?
For this one, we should have played
people-
for this one instead because we live in a two-wheel nation, technically.
People
This
lose
is
their
the
minds
election.
if we played
This
the
is
same song twice. People would go crazy. They wouldn't be able to handle it. All right. Anything anybody wants to see?
Ooh, I don't know. We just did Your
These
Vote is Vital.
classics.
That was the one I wanted to do.
I want to see Air Raiders.
I guess Phase 1 Phasers has always been a good.
Phase
Yeah,
1 Phaser. Yeah,
Marvel's
DP7.
supervillain team up looks insane.
Yeah. Shea, anything you want to see?
High Force One.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. It'll be silly. And it is. I can't believe this.
Oh, okay.
Woo!
So, we've had a spat. Is it a spade or a spat?
Mm-hmm.
Of bird-themed books.
Mm-hmm.
We've had Dark Haw, Night Haw.
Mm-hmm.
Animal Man was kind of a bird guy.
He was.
I want to say we had another one, and now we're going to do Hawkman,
Mm-hmm.
or as I'm going to call him, Hawkma.
One of the oldest, selections for the wheel.
Oh, wow. Okay, this is not a request, though. This is from you.
This means that this was probably one of the, or when I was coming up with the comics for the beginning of the show, 20
Yeah.
years ago, Hawkman #7 was one of the books I picked.
So it's Hawkman #7 from 1965, Hawkman versus Crocodile Man.
Ah, great.
This is what we need.
nice
Oh,
palette.
yes.
Yes.
Yes, here we go.
All right.
Okay, the crocodile men are sexy, first and foremost.
They are clearly wearing costumes.
Look.
Hey,
Look, don't sleep on the bonus. Amazing return of the IQ gang.
Oh, great. If you vote for Donald Trump, you're in the IQ gang.
What were you going to say, Shea?
That I was just pointing that out down
The
there.
IQ
Little
gang?
fucking Jim,
Dude, the guy
little
who
fucking
represents-
Jim Jones down
Dude,
there.
he does look like Jim Jones.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, this will be way better.
Dude, the alligator men are wearing, the crocodile boys or whatever they're called, are wearing adorable booties.
So sexy.
They look like they're wearing the rubber horse costume head you could use for gifts and stuff.
Yeah.
except they're crocodile versions.
So these guys are clearly just men in costumes. These are not crocodile mutants.
They decided to gather and have a fist fight next to a waterfall in Egypt.
So they're a few kilometers away from the Great Pyramids of Egypt, and there's a waterfall. What the hell is going on here?
I don't know.
This looks fantastic.
Yeah, Attack of the Crocodile Men, Hawkman. Let's go.
Yeah, I can't
let's
wait.
do this.
Let's just record this now.
Yeah, let's just do it now.
Yeah, let's just do it now, guys. Double episode, double header. Let's do 2. Let's play 2. That's
what we
sports
used to
say.
do when we were more courageous.
Yeah,
Now
before we
we're-
lost all our balls in this country.
Uh,
You used to be able to do 2 episodes a day.
yep, lazy millennials.
Yeah, lazy mental. So only do one
I think
episode.
they were.
and then,
I think they were just as lazy.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, there's no
You know.
generation that was harder working.
No, we worked pretty hard. Calm down.
Yeah, come on. All right, that's gonna be next time. Thank God, bringing the
Thank
funny
God.
back hard.
All right, Hawkma.
Akma. All right, Shea, you got any closing plugs for us?
Hold on. Hawkma actually sounds like what his Egyptian name would be.
Yes, he does actually.
Yeah.
All right, so
right.
please continue, Shea.
Your plugs are
Oh.
vital.
Listen to Darkseid's Couch on all of the things at Darkseid's Couch, and that includes Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Discord, and then if you want to hop over to Twitch, you can find stuff under Santa Hues.
Hop on over.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's about it. Anybody got any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Oh man, you know what, guys? I think you convinced me to vote.
Wow.
No, you didn't.
Shea.
Nope.
She's like, I'm not voting either.
Okay, I guess that's the end of our show. Ta-ta for now, Cushion Crusaders, and go vote if you want to or don't.
I bet you're voting for Donald Trump.
Voting. Yikes.